Not showing you.
Hey everybody, we're trying to get it together. It's been one of those afternoons, and the title really has just kind of said it all. We've had a busy day and worked outside. Literally, the sun is going down. We ran in, threw some burgers on the grill, and literally swallowed it whole and ran to the computer. So Colby is getting his last minute coffee as he always does. How is everyone? And how is y'all's weather? Y'all getting much planted and done? Mimsy's Garden. Dinah at Justice Acres. How are y'all? Heidi. Lazy C Homestead. Homestead Engraving Business and Life. How are y'all? Cecilia. Hey, single dad. How are ya? Heidi said it's gloomy here. We've had a very, very pretty day. Hey, supper at 7. Dawn, Miss Darlene. How are y'all? We had actually a beautiful day. When the sun was out full time, it got pretty warm, but then it would hide in the clouds and it would feel really nice. Hoping to start the first of the garden this week. That's awesome. Actually, today my mom came over and we dug up Colby, what would you say, about 60 pounds of potatoes? It's probably a good 50 or 60 pounds of potatoes. Then we turned around and fertilized real heavy with some organic plant food, and went ahead and replanted all those beds with tomatoes. So then we had to water everything, and then we went out to the garden. Colby was building a fence, but I went out to prune all of the tomato plants because they were going crazy. So I went and pruned about halfway up all the tomatoes. There's 3 rows with plants on each side, so technically 6 rows, and I got all that done. So too chilly to do anything. Where Heidi is. Heidi, tell me one more time where you are. It's going to rain again in Oklahoma tonight. You know, we were expecting some rain earlier, but it never came, so I'm glad I did water this afternoon. Hey, Food Forest, Permaculture. And we are supposed to get some rain Friday, tomorrow or Friday?
A little bit Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, we're supposed to be getting some this weekend, so I'm excited about that. Single dad. Planting for the second time. Oh my goodness. Was it the frost that come through? I think that caught a lot of people off guard. Hey, Mama. I was just telling them that we dug up a whole bunch of potatoes today and then turned around and replanted all those beds with tomatoes. Finally got the rest of the cabbage and cauliflower in the garden. The peas are finally coming up. Our peas are looking really good. We actually have a good bit of blooms on ours too, which, you know, it's way hotter here than it is further up north.
Well, that's our peas. That's our summer peas. Some people are still doing like sugar snap peas, winter peas.
Okay, Northwest Iowa. So yeah, you are still chilly. Was in the 70s for a week and then went down into 28.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think the weather can make up its mind what it wants to do, which we had like a true spring for the first time ever.
What's up, single dad? How are you, man?
So I think that caught a lot of people off guard. It dropped pretty low here, but it did not get that cold.
Yeah, our low is like 45 to 50 in this time of year.
I saw that. It was absolutely too cool.
Oh, what my phone's doing.
The raised bed was very cool. And they're so simple to do. I mean, you know, for the most part, they're pretty simple to do and pretty cost effective too. Hey, Walker Family Farm.
Actually, you got about 70 pounds probably of potatoes today.
Really? We dug my mom, Kathy Ratcliffe, we dug and dug and dug
Hey, Walker Farm
potatoes.
fam.
But you know, I was really surprised. I was kind of worried about the size. Colby said he wasn't worried about the size as much. I was worried about the size, but we had really good sized potatoes. And we had some small ones that are going to be like your more like throw them in the
Fingerlings.
yeah, like throw them in the pot with the roast and stuff like that. But then we had a lot of really good size like bacon potatoes and stuff like that too. So
Hey, move your
I'm
chair
super
over.
excited about that.
Let's go this way.
The light.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We had to readjust. I just got to keep my head here and not there.
Well, it was a
Here, there.
it was a last minute kind of. We literally ran in, threw burgers on the grill, dunked the kids in the bathtub, and swallowed our hamburgers whole.
Yeah, Misty was like, I was thinking we were going to kind of do something easy because we laid out meat, but we just didn't cook our we had a chicken laid out and some meat, hamburger meat, and I said we'll just make something easy. We'll do that for tomorrow. Misty's like, let's do grilled burgers at like 7 o'clock. So we were rushing. We were still actually cutting tomatoes back. So yeah, that's definitely our biggest potato harvest that we had. I'm hoping that our sweet potato harvest comes in even heavier, and that pretty much takes our potatoes for the whole year. Uh, we tried fall potatoes last year. I think we got like 10. So I doubt we do fall potatoes this year because we really can't justify it. But if we
Well,
can
the
keep these growing,
frost come
hopefully
in faster than we expected, so it killed the tops. Like they were not ready. So
we'll worry about it.
I know
We'll do
most
it.
people are super excited about garden season kicking off. It does make for a very, very busy time of year. You know, I
For
feel
us
like
anyway, we
I
don't
feel like
stop.
yeah, I mean, there's constantly something to do, whether it's you're welcome, Mama. Hopefully I have enough eggs between selling and putting in the incubator and us eating. We've actually been low on our eggs, but hopefully I can get you some eggs next time. But I hope everybody's getting excited about gardening. I feel like we go out and there's so much to do.
Heidi, I wish we could. That's why we made a video when we did our potatoes. We can't do a cellar of any sort here because we're so humid in the south, and there's no way to have a root cellar that would sustain. I mean, you could put a cooler in the ground and you could do a cool dark room. We don't have basements here just because of the humidity here actually causes mold issues for most basements for people who have older homes here. So we're going to try to actually we're going to let them age outside, let them get hard, keep them in dirt pretty much this whole time, not wash them, not do anything to them, and try to keep them. We have a dark room like above here. It's not really. It's a kind of a halfway finished room. We're going to probably put them in there. Stays pretty cool because it's regulated with air. But if we keep the lights pretty much off. The only time it's on is when I'm up there first thing in the morning. Other than that, it's pretty much off all day. So,
Chris, they are scarfing down some ice cream. I got my mom to pick me up. We don't eat a lot of junks and snack food, but today I was like, I really want some cookies and cream ice cream. And she called me and was like, I'm going to Walmart. So I told her, please pick me up some
we make
cookies
all our
and
ice cream. That's the
cream
first time we've probably bought ice cream
in a long time, a really long time.
probably a year.
So they're over there scarfing down some ice cream right now. And the baby did not take a nap today, so he's probably asleep.
He was
with his
halfway
head
asleep in the ice cream. Yeah. So I told
He's so
Aiden, I was like,
tired.
you can't let him do that. So
Walker Farm Fam said so ready for actual summer.
So tell me, what's jamming right now in your gardens or in your orchard or in your raised beds? What right now is
Well, a lot of people
doing
are just kind of
the bang?
starting.
Well, even for winter and fall, what's been your best crop so far? As in May 13th.
Yes, we do go live every Wednesday night at 8, and we just like to jump on. Usually it's for 45 or 50 minutes. Sometimes we go an hour over because we love to get on here and talk to you guys. Kim, hey Kim, she said my herbs are going nuts.
Herbs,
Lettuce and radishes.
Misty's got deals like grown. It's huge.
Shot up. Actually, one of the things on my list of things to do today was go out and harvest and get my herbs and my new dehydrator. I got an Excalibur Woo! For Mother's Day. So I'm so excited about that. And I really needed to go harvest and get those in there. I have some other dehydrators that like I
Hey,
found
Jeremy,
at
how
a
are you, man?
garage sale for $1, and I usually use those. So I'm super excited about my Excalibur because I can put beef jerkies, I can put fruits, I can put, I mean, the possibilities are endless. So I'm super excited about
Walker
that.
Farm fam, y'all are a little ahead of us. So actually, y'all must have a different temperature. Y'all must be a little bit warmer than us because I saw they were fizzing a pickle, squash and cucumber,
really?
and zucchini. They're a little bit ahead of us. Our peppers are doing
75
good.
onions
Our,
today.
our
That's
tomatoes
good.
are jamming. Our onions
Peppers
like
and
about
tomatoes.
our these onions probably like about another 20, about 10 to 20 days. The main ones. We
Yeah,
have
I was gonna say
progressionary
just a
onions.
few weeks. Our cucumbers there's probably 100 or
They look
more out
phenomenal.
there.
They really do. They look like true plants. I've never had.
They're beautiful.
They just look amazing.
And our squash is doing really good.
Yep.
There's buds and several zucchini babies coming up. So we're super excited about that. And we were kind of laughing when we were out there today because we compare our stuff sometimes to other people's stuff. And we know most of y'all know that we fertilize a little bit different. We use bone meal, we use fish emulsion, blood meal,
cottonseed meal.
So we use all organic, all natural. We don't do 13, those heavy.
And we're not gonna say names. I mean, it just
we were just laughing because I mean, some people do that and that's fine. Like I went in the feed store the other day and this older gentleman that was in there, he was probably 70, and he was buying like bags of it. That's just not what we do because we don't want to eat that, so we don't put it on our foods in our gardens. So anyway, it takes time. We feed our stuff, but it doesn't shoot up overnight because we're not putting chemicals on our.
It's amazing. We usually start our gardens way before everybody else here, and our gardens usually take longer to finish up because of that. So I
mean, not that anything is wrong with that. That's just not what we eat. We dehydrated caramelized onions.
I've never heard of that.
Really good.
Hey, thank you, Fancy Farmer, for saying you like the new Facebook group. If you're not part of the new Facebook group, join us. I don't even remember the name.
The Max Homestead Hangout.
Yeah, that's it.
So y'all find us and request the join. It is a private group because some people are private with their pages anyway, and I did not feel comfortable making it a totally public group, just because people post pictures of their home and pictures around their home of their gardens and things that they built. So I wanted to kind of keep it private so not just anybody could see what was on there. So y'all send over a friend request if y'all have not joined that. And because we like to see what y'all are doing and what's going on, and it helps people. A lot of our locals around here are part of it. I think we're well over 200 now, like close to 250. And a lot of our locals around here like new ideas, fresh ideas. Maybe they see something with lattice
and they love seeing y'all stuff.
Yes, they do. You post your Instagram, you post your YouTube videos, you post whatever you're doing. Yes, it is open. My only request was to keep it clean, which we've never had any problems. So I think we're good.
Amy uses bone meal, blood meal manure. We do too as well. Our manure, what we did this year, we used some chicken manure, and then we have because we have bigger paddocks. We actually have a harrow, and we're actually going to start pulling it. So a lot of our cow manure will stay in our pastures as new fertilization. This time of year, you start seeing a lot of people with cattle in our area get
I knew
loads,
we were around there.
Get loads and loads and loads of fertilizers dropped on their land to get their Bahia and their Bermuda coming up pretty heavy. We don't do that. So this year, I think what we're going to do is really try to pull our manure all the way across because we have a good rainy season. And our grass is slow right now, so I'm hoping that really helps.
You know what I found, Walker Farm, is that a lot of the northern people are real into Instagram, but a lot of our southern folks, like everybody here has Facebook. And then there are people that have Instagram, but maybe not use it as much. But everybody here has Facebook as the big thing. So I think it's neat to have on both pages because, a lot of our friends that we have met through YouTube and like HOA and stuff like that mostly are up north are very, very adamant about posting on Instagram, I've noticed, and maybe not be as active on Facebook. So it wouldn't be a bad idea. I think that's pretty cool.
We've always had our Facebook page on the Max Happy Homestead, but now we're starting a group.
Right. This is a group for people to post, because like I've
whatever
had
you want.
Single dad. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chris. Man, you shouldn't do that. Thank you though. From Uncle Chris.
Yes, and y'all check Single Dad out too. He has a lot of really awesome videos. I said get on here and say hey to him.
Yeah, say hey, Uncle Chris.
Hey.
Mimsy, we use worm castings too. We can't tend to use worm castings too much in our big bed because it's just so big. But we do use worm castings in our raised beds and our pots and things like that.
And I saw where Rawford Farm was saying that they use rabbit poop. We've
contemplated rabbits for simply manure.
Our thing would be that, because I don't want to really eat rabbit, and I know that sounds really crazy. We don't really want to eat. I don't really want to eat rabbit. So, Kim said that she doesn't do Instagram. She's from the north, so
rabbits.
Oh, the rabbit. So our thinking was, and rabbits don't sell good around here. So in my thinking is, if we're going to be feeding them, then they're fertilized. They better be putting out some kind of fertilizer. And I don't know if the weight of the cost to feed them would be worth the cost of the Does that make sense? Like, I don't think it would be wise to feed them $40 a month worth of food to give us only X amount of pounds of poop.
See, we
would have to really, really weigh that out.
All our animals now, the way we do our feed does not come over the price of what we make back on that animal. So, for instance, it costs us $200 a pig a year of feed costs, not counting because we have milk, we have scraps and things like that. So of feed, so that $200 will easily cover the cost with the pork. Same way with the lamb. The lambs are ruminants, so we really don't even feed them. Cows, same way. The only reason we feed them is that when we're going to feed them in the dairy stages. So, like for us with the rabbits, if we're not eating the rabbit too, I don't know if the manure outweighs the cost of the price of the food.
And I guess
Misty talks about eating. I've ate rabbit. I've never ate like caged rabbit. We kill field rabbits and things like that and eat it in rabbit stews or rabbit gravy.
I would have to. I don't know. Okay, and then I saw somebody ask if we had reopened here in our area. For the most part, we had last week. Our governor opened up a 50. Was it a 50%?
Restaurants are 50% right now in Mississippi. Everything else is pretty much. I mean, around here, everybody was quote unquote essential. So like even department stores and things like that. Even if you were going clothes shopping in our area, pretty much they'd order it or do whatever they wanted to do and pick it up at store. So we really. I'm not saying people would close, but it was more government, school, government, and things like that were closed. But for us, it was pretty much open all the time. What's up, VW Family Farm? How are y'all?
Rabbits get really hot really easy, even here in Oklahoma.
And we don't need any extra animals right now, I think, that can cause us more to learn. The sheep have caused us stress. I actually almost reached out to VW about my sheep today, but I think the sheep are actually in a good spot now after a tough 10 days, but they're looking great and talking to us every time we're by.
Was it last week that we were discussing with y'all that they had bottleneck, which is where
bottle jaw. Is it bottle jaw or bottleneck?
Bottle jaw.
Bottle jaw.
I don't know. Yeah, because bottleneck is like for a bottle, isn't it?
Bottleneck.
Anyway, bottle jaw, and it's where they're. I've probably said that a million times. They're under their jaw gets like a pouch, and it is a. Well, I've read something and I've heard something. I've read that it's where the parasites are damaging the the lining of the true stomach so much that they're bleeding and that they can't digest the protein of the muscles that are being destroyed or something from all of the damage. Anyway, so that it creates a pouch here of swelling So last week, that's what we were dealing with. But I would say almost the next day, Daisy's was gone, and then it took 3 or 4 days for Donald's to be gone. But after we unfortunately had to double dose them with that big dose, it worked. And for us,
right now.
it was not worth the cost of losing them to say that we had to dose them with commercial.
Yeah. It was not what we wanted to do, but at the same time, for us now, we've got to decide. If we keep the sheep, we've got to learn. They've got to become more hardy for our farm because we tend to not treat our cows. So we're trying to get away from not treating our sheep. Of course, we don't treat our pigs at all. So if we see that they're on a routine where we're having to treat them more,
probably gonna let them go.
I think we'd have to sell. So.
And we have heard from, and some of y'all that maybe have some experience.
Sean, Alaska, this is not all the max. We're missing 2 boys too, along with these 3 girls. So
we have 5 kids
of the max.
Yeah, the 2 boys are over there in the rocking chair. So we and y'all can chime in if you know.
All right, so how old are
we have read. Hold on, let me finish this. We have read, and we've been told by a lot of people that it tends to be certain ones that are more susceptible. So like our other 2, they're in there. And my thinking, I'm like, well, they're in there. The ones that have worms are pooping out the eggs. They're gonna hatch. Their larva is gonna grow up and be on the same grass that the other ones are eating. Blah blah blah. It's gonna be a continuous cycle. Well, I have read that they actually do carry these parasites anyway. But some are more susceptible, and if for anything causes them any stress, it drops their immune, and then it allows the parasites to kind of take over. So some just have a natural tendency to be more susceptible. So if those 2 seem to be, is sickly a word? If sickly is a word, then if they tend to be more sickly, then they have to go. All right, how old are you?
8.
I don't know how old you are.
5.
5.
Thank you so much,
thank you, Miss Dawn.
Wave at them. Tell them hey. Say thank you.
I'm outnumbered, but the 2 boys do help me a little bit. So, Aiden, it was funny today. We were pulling fence. I got off, and so we started pulling fence. And without him, I don't know what I'd have done because I started pulling. I said, "Well, hey, you go do this." And after he left, I was thinking, "There's no way I'm gonna get finished." So he came back, and we actually finished pulling it. But we got a whole new.
That's fine, Anna.
We needed more paddocks, so what we did is we decided to move the sheep over to a new area where the pumpkin patch was. If you watched our aerial video, where the pumpkin patch was, where now the sheep are.
Y'all haven't seen that video? It's really cool. Y'all check it out.
And so where the pumpkin patch was is now where the sheep are, and that's in front of the new bee apiary. We have 2 apiaries on our farm, and then where the sheep originally were, we're gonna let that rest. We just fenced that in. We're actually going to let that rest, and we're going to put the cows on it. Probably put the chickens right behind them, the permaculture chickens behind them, or the new permaculture chickens. We have some new pullets that can become that. So,
yep. And our turkeys, y'all, they have grown tremendously. I can't remember if I brought any of the turkeys in. I know on one of the lives I brought some of the chicks in. I don't think we had the turkeys yet.
The thing about the turkeys, though, that's been so crazy is they love to fly out. Now, they won't go far from their net, and so we use a shocker knot to keep that set of chicks, the permaculture chickens,
and things can
fly are really good. The heritage, and even really right now, the broadbreast can still fly right now. So if we pass them, they love to hang out with us. So if I walk past them, they'll raise up and just fly over the net and act like they're just like, hey,
what
bud,
is
how are
the
you?
cutest thing to me though is they're like this tall, right? Can y'all see that? I mean, they're what?
Probably 8 to 10 inches tall.
Yeah, and then the we call him boss, but even the guys will strut around, and they're like little mini little man turkeys. They're so cute when they do that because their feathers will pop up everywhere where they're supposed to be, and he'll strut around. It is the cutest thing.
All right, Fancy Farmer. Okay, the shocker knot fence is actually put out by Premier One. It is the tighter net bottom fence for a lot of times for your little chicks, your pullets, anything that you're trying to keep in net. A lot of times you see shocker knots with meat chickens. we actually have our meat chickens in a shocker knot.
A
or actually
fourth
just
by
chicken.
a fourth of an inch.
No, it's an inch by an inch. It's a 1 inch by 1 inch at the bottom.
Those little ones?
Yeah. So it's a 1 inch by 1 inch. So that means
I
no
thought they were
chicks,
smaller than that.
nothing like that can get out of it. So the shocker knot, it costs
Like
a
you
little
can
bit more.
put tiny chicks in there.
Yeah. So for us, that works out really well. Other than just the regular poultry nets, it's put out by Premier One. I'm not sure if Gallagher has one like that. I know Gallagher has the regular poultry nets, but I don't know if Gallagher has the shocker knot. But we have 2 shocker knots that we usually keep our smaller chicks or pullets in, so that way they can't get in and out. There's a few more. What is your favorite thing on the homestead? I would say for me, probably just my cows, my milk cows. They can stress me out. There was a shirt the other day I said, I'm sorry. I saw the other day where a shirt said, I'm so sorry what I said when we were working cows or something like that. That shirt should be for me, because these cows can cause me a heart attack, but probably they're the best thing on the farm.
I love Elsa. She's really, really sweet.
Yeah.
I don't get to spend a lot of time out
Hey,
there
Arkansas
with them.
woodcutter.
But I wish that I could. I really love Elsa.
Think
But
about it. Yeah, Elsa is my heart. Allie, oh gosh,
she's a pain in the alley.
I mean, Allie, like this morning, this was a good milk morning, so we got about, they feed
2.5 gallons.
Well, right. It was right at 3 gallons. That's good for us when we're milking two calves too.
We say that phrase all the time.
So what?
Talking about the cat. The
cows.
I
know. So, anyways,
hey, Pine Knot.
This morning though, Allie would not stand right. Now, if you're a milker, you know they have a stand. You want them standing the way they're supposed to stand. I mean, that is a common.
BW can tell you.
Stand like they're supposed to stand. Well, Allie gets to the point where sometimes she don't want to stand like she wants to stand. And I know. Look, I'm gonna say this. I have a pet peeve about a cow peeing in the stanchion. It stresses me out more than anything. And so I've taught my cows, like, Elsa will not pee in the stanchion. And Allie's done so good. But then Allie, I know when she kicks her leg forward, I know she's wanting to pee in my stanchion.
I was gonna say she's.
And so it's just like one thing or another this morning. So then I got her out after she peed in my stanchion. She made me mad. Then Elsa pees in the stanchion. She never does that. So it was just one of those mornings for the cows. But after I left, I was like, I really do like those cows.
Well, for me, it's my greenhouse. I really enjoy the greenhouse.
All right, y'all gotta get them.
Okay, we are doing good, and I loved your picture of your soap today, by the way,
Hey,
Tasha. I love to make soap. I am behind. I have made 8 pounds of lemongrass, 8 pounds of lavender, 8 pounds of peppermint, and I really need to make another 8 pounds of orange because I have a really nice soaping business here in our area.
It's booming.
Yeah, it does really well. It's a clean soap. It lathers really well. People really like the oatmeal scrub in it. So,
okay, so
I need to get caught up.
What are you thinking about turkeys? How many weeks are you growing out your broad breast? We're going to try to grow up our broad breast about 16 to 18 weeks. We're not looking for a 50-pound bird because it's a little too big for us. So we're looking to go for our broad breast about 30 to 35 pounds. So that way we have a good 18 to 20 pound actual bird. So we're going to keep. We have 8 broad breasted, and it'd be 10 heritage now because we lost 2. So we have 10 heritage that will grow up, and we'll just have layers and just keep reproducing. The broad-breasted, we're going to kill off 8. Our goal is to keep 2 to 3 for Christmas and Thanksgiving, and also the first of the year, and then grind up 1 and then sell the rest for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So that's kind of what our thoughts are on the turkeys. They've been great. The first few days and weeks are terrible because you're going to lose turkeys and you're going to wonder what you did. You did nothing. It's just they died.
Well, I will say what was a huge. I'm going to answer her question.
Okay, go ahead.
Days. I will say what was a bummer for us is it was when the line of storms come through.
Yeah,
we didn't get any major damage, but we did lose power for several hours. And one thing about babies, whether it's ducks, which we had ducks in there too, we had chicks in there, we had
Turkeys.
and the turkeys. And when we lost power, and it was not even cold. It was not even cold outside, but we lost power, so their heat lamp went off. And this is how, like, I have read in so many different places, people question, it's going to be freezing out tonight. Should I take a heat lamp out there? And my answer is always yes. What is it going to hurt? Because if they do get too cold, they could die. If you give them a heat lamp and they do get cold, at least they have somewhere to go if they get too cold. So we lost power for what, 2 hours, 3 hours at the longest? What?
She looks cool.
2 or 3 hours at the longest. And we woke up the next morning to one of our ducks were dead and 3 turkeys were dead.
We've lost.
Or was there 4 in there? It was several. And it was the next morning. So in my opinion, what's it going to hurt? If it's going to get cold and they're still very small and you're questioning, should I give them a heat lamp or not? Just give it to them. It's not going to hurt them. But them getting too cold will kill them.
Turkeys are on.
Especially the smaller they are, the warmer they need to be. And dehydrated eggs. I have never seen dehydrated eggs or ate dehydrated eggs.
I've seen them, but
we do know a lot of people that do that. So I think
pickling egg is probably bigger than dehydrating eggs.
Here,
a lot of people pickle eggs.
So what I think is pretty cool,
let me say this.
I do have a dehydrator now that I can do that with, but I have never. Mike Pratt, I know, did a ton of dehydrated eggs not long ago. I'm not sure if I would like the way they tasted, but I do know people that do them.
How old are you? You just erased what I was trying to read.
I'll take 8 pounds of lemongrass. Little Feet Farm. I didn't see them in here. I hope you all got back from Tennessee with your pigs.
Yeah, they got them.
Oh, did you see that?
And American guinea hogs are awesome. So we're raising those. Actually, they're not on here tonight, but the Hive and Homestead and also another couple are coming Friday to pick up their pigs. So they'll be taking their piglets home from the max.
Yep, the Hive and the Homestead got 3. They bought one of the boys and
2 girls.
And both of the girls.
Did they? I thought it was the 2 boys, 1 girl. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's right. I have it wrote down. I have all my orders wrote down.
Oh, gosh,
but they're going to be sick from like the computer shaking.
I'm going to be sick. Pine Nut, I think you need a dairy cow. I think that'd be wise for you. Lazy C, we moved our poults out.
They were fully feathered.
Yeah, they're fully feathered. Now we're not cold here, so the coldest it got.
They were probably
like
4 weeks.
4 weeks. That's what I was thinking too. Now we have our gobblers are bigger. You can tell the gobblers pretty early on. Our hens, some of our hens are kind of small. I was a little worried about putting them out so soon, but we put them in a very closed off coop with a heat lamp, like Missy said, with a piece of tin and a lot of bedding. So they kind of had a good environment that they were kind of leaving and coming back into. It
sure didn't take them very long to figure out how to get out of that.
They just have free reign to the yard, and we kind of get them back in as they get out. So
Pine Knot said turkeys are hard to get started sometimes. They just hatch 20 and only have 16 left. Yeah. They are very finicky.
We lost 4.
I think we lost 4 total.
Yeah.
I think. Maybe it was 3.
I can't remember. The duck. But yeah, we lost the duck and lost those. See, we're getting ready to butcher our chickens. Have y'all ever? We ordered from Purely Poultry this year, and we have been, or not this year, this time, and we have been very pleased with how good these chickens have grown off. That's our first time we've ever ordered from Purely Poultry. Our turkeys came from Meyer. We ordered last year from the chick hatchery, which was kind of so-so. But Purely Poultry had a great bird this year. We're at 7 weeks. Actually, they're at bigger weight than what our last ones were at 10 weeks. So we're actually we were gonna wait and not kill them off next week, which is 8 weeks, which is what you want. But we're gonna probably wait another week. But now I don't know. They're getting so big, which is a good thing. But I've been really pleased with them.
So I read that because I was thinking, I was reading if some people keep some to lay eggs, and this is what I come to.
They have a heart attack. They can have a heart attack and die.
I did not know that.
They can have congestion.
They get so big and so fat.
They can't carry themselves. They're fat hens.
But I did read one lady said that she kept the runt.
Yeah.
And it does lay for her.
Hey, I have a question. Cool. I do have a question for anyone that's in here that can answer this. We've done Cornish cross, of course, like most people. I know the Edgeworth. Jeremy was in here a while ago. We're thinking about this the next time we're supposed to place an order on some more meat birds. We're thinking about going with the Red Rangers. Or kind of give me your thoughts. We want more of a foraged bird. Let me know kind of what your thoughts are. We want a more foraging bird. Cornish cross is not really a foraging bird. It's more just feed me and I'm gonna lay here and eat. Yep. And we're trying to get to more of a normal.
They eat and literally go lay down.
Yeah, so we're trying to get to a more of a normal style bird. And the Red Rangers, I've heard great things about them, but I know they're a slow grow. which is not a bad thing because I'm just to put up another 30 in the freezer on top of the probably 10 or 15 we have left. So for us, that takes us pretty good into the year. So we're thinking about doing the Red Rangers. So give me your thoughts if you've done Cornish Cross versus the Red Rangers, or if you're doing a Red Ranger only. Give me your thoughts. I really like to hear about that because we're really contemplating that.
Somebody in Alaska that has been buying heritage breed turkeys, raising them up, and then turning them loose in the wild. Hey, that's amazing. But I'm going to say buying heritage breed turkeys and then raising them up, putting all there's a big investment right there. So
here we actually have
good for him.
And some of these people may be local, I don't know, but we had a major issue with some hunters this last year that they poached tons of turkeys in our area.
They got busted.
Yeah, real bad busted. But turkeys used to be we used to see a lot of turkeys around here, especially right after deer season. They'd come right in for the spring strut, you don't see as many big gobblers as you used to. We see a lot of hens, but not a lot of big gobblers like we used to, just the regular wild turkey. So I'm hoping we can gain our population. It's kind of like bees for us. If our bees swarm, it's not that they're doing a bad thing. I hate that we're losing our bees, but ultimately they're staying in our trees. They're staying and hopefully feeding other parts of this area. Same with our turkeys. I don't want to lose our turkeys, but hopefully if our turkeys are leaving us, especially if our heritage breed leaves, hopefully they'll kind of start a reproduction here.
Well, and I don't think they will because they know, like you said, they fly out at us and chase us and stuff. I mean, they know who feeds them and they know where they get fed. So I don't think that since we've raised them up from babies, I don't think that they'll do that. So Pine Knot said Cornish crosses are easier to process because they have less feathers to deal with.
There. I agree there.
Do y'all have a plucker? We purchased, I don't remember the name.
Hey, Henry's, honey. Ours is I have to get the name. I can't remember.
It's like so easy.
Yeah, it's the easiest name in the world.
Anyway, we got a plucker, and I will tell you, we dropped that thing in there in less than 30 seconds. Yeah, it's completely featherless.
I can't imagine not having a plucker. I know that sounds terrible.
Not at the rate, not at the
and all three people are probably like, you sissies, we plucked this by hand, but I can't imagine not having a plucker. It would take all day, whereas instead of a 3 or 4 hour process, it'd be a 12-hour process. So.
Yeah. It would just be a big, huge ordeal. I really like the fact of knowing that I can go out and knock a lot of them out at one time, get them down to their, don't jump on that, okay? Because it shakes the whole computer and our people on there will be plumb motion sickness because the screen keeps jumping everywhere, okay? So I love to go out and know that we can do from clucking to wrapping in a decent time. The bob white quail. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, a quail is, I won't say really popular in our area, but I would be willing to say I know at least 5 people that raise quail on their homestead. So
there's a main quail hatchery here.
If I'm slaughtering chickens by 12 to 25, I'm buying a house plucker. Yeah, we did.
Ours is not house. Ours is what is it? Kitchener. Gosh,
Kitchener.
Yeah, you're so smart.
It's really nice, but I really enjoyed it. And you could do probably 2 or 3 at a time. But
we could do 2. You could do 2 at a time safely. If you do 3, it kind of can junk it up.
I really
I'm worried about trying to do our turkeys in it though. I see some people use the Kitchener for turkeys, so that's why we don't want to really get a 50-pound bird because I'm scared it'd tear it up. Hey, KBL Texas Homestead, did you say hey to them?
I didn't. We've just been talking. Well, I haven't gotten down to that comment yet.
Yeah, we'll process 30 and a few heritage birds next week, and without that plucker, I don't know if we could do it.
We do have pluckers and must. I agree there. Is this Tasha saying that you had to pluck them by hand when you were little? And that was a deal maker for me to have to get back into meat birds was that. I have never had to do birds. No, Levi. I've never had to do birds. When we went to HOA this year and I saw Joel do one, I had told Colby for a long time I don't want meat birds. But when I saw him do one and saw it really was not as bad as I was thinking that it was going to be, we come home and ordered all of them. So you have to have a license to raise Bob White around here. Wow, really?
Quail, there's a guy around here that actually grows, I mean, just thousands of quail. One of our seed stores here, he says one of the biggest in the South, and that's what he does. He just turns around and sells to a lot of meat packaging plants for quail. I know that sounds crazy, but real big deal here. So we've never really got into quail.
They're very loud, aren't they?
No, you're thinking of guineas.
That's right.
Get your birds right, Mama.
If it's outside of a chicken, I don't know nothing. Chicken or turkey,
I don't think I want anything else bird. I think I'm done with birds. I mean, other than what we're raising now.
Well, and besides of our normal, basically main flock of chickens, then we have all the flock of pullets.
What's your girl's favorite part of the homestead life? Probably eating ice cream.
What's your favorite part of?
Oh yeah.
What is your favorite thing to do outside besides play?
Feed the chickens.
Feed the chickens.
That's
Sayla,
the job.
what do you like to do when you go to the chickens? Get the eggs. Sayla likes to get the eggs.
She's the catcher. She likes to catch chickens when they're out. She's the one to go to.
Yeah, there was a chicken out today. She called it.
Do not get ducks ever. We have 5. I just hatched them out this past spring.
But we have 5, and we don't give them a lot of water. We just give them just a little water. And they're with our meat birds right now, so we'll move them in with our turkeys or with our pullets very soon. They're actually not that bad because it's only 5 of them. A lot of people,
I couldn't imagine having a huge flock of them.
And I couldn't imagine not moving them.
Miss Kathy from North Star.
I couldn't imagine not moving ducks too. I mean, if you kept them in our hen house, I could see where they could be a mess.
Yeah.
Hey, Castle Highs, how are you? But I could see where they could be a mess if you were not moving them, because they tend to make a mess.
Well, what is your favorite part, Ellie?
Catching chickens.
Catching
Thanks,
chickens.
Castle Highs.
You don't like to do anything except for catch chickens?
Catching chickens.
That's your favorite part. She's a good chicken catcher too.
I hate catching chickens.
When
I catch meat birds too.
You do catch meat birds.
When we were out moving, I don't know if some of you guys saw our video when we moved the flock from the very front to the food forest area in the back, and we got a lot of it from our what is the thing in the air called? Our drone. And I got tickled because they were running all over the place and Colby wasn't fast enough to. Single guy got kicked off. How did you get kicked off?
Probably the internet.
That's true. But Ellie Bell, she could catch them, and I got so tickled because I told Colby and Aiden, I was like, y'all gonna have to pep y'all step.
Castle Hives, that's awesome that you call Swark. I need to check my bees. We're getting close to adding more boxes, more honey. You called a meat bird?
Yeah.
Let's see. Fancy Farmer says the Fit Farmer has ducks. Put them out in a pond like yours, minus the alligator.
Hey, our alligator is gone.
He is gone.
Y'all didn't catch that video? There is a guy in our local.
The alligator we know.
Yeah, the alligator that we know. But I have not seen any more out there.
Yeah, we had 2, and then we had babies, and now we only have 1, and then that's the one we caught.
Yeah, but they were supposed to get them all, and then we still found one out there. So there's a guy in our local community that is a professional alligator wrangler. Is that what you would call him? And we were telling him about the alligator in the pond, and he offered to come get it. And we were like, yeah, come get it. I mean, and this alligator was getting too close to comfort. It was a little comfortable with us. And it would there would be times it would come towards us. So thankfully he got it, and we got some footage of it with him in the back of the truck. It was very big. Gator catcher.
Single dad, that's awesome, Chris. We love our bees. We have 14 active hives right now.
Since we checked on last.
It's a passion too. I love it. That's one thing I do love on the homestead.
New show, Alligator King. That was a big sucker. He was. we were thinking like 4 foot, 5 foot. He said he was well over that.
Yeah, he was. Oh gosh, he was probably 8 foot.
I touched it, baby.
Yeah, single dad, you'll fall in love with bees.
Yep.
And that's the best way to make money back on the homestead, I believe.
It's an investment initially, but to turn around and sell the honey in the long run, they will pay for themselves plus some.
Fancy farmer. Yes, she is definitely an ex-cheerleader, or former cheerleader.
Well, like you. Yes, I was a cheerleader up through college. So
She actually did competition, like competition cheer, so that's why she's really on her beat. She's got the beat.
I like your jokes.
You like my joke?
We got our first 2 hives last week. One more coming next week. Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Everybody
we really
needs to get
enjoy our
bees.
bees. And I think another thing that I really like about them is you don't have to babysit them. Like, they're
This
not,
time of year, you do a little bit.
but they're not like daily needy. Like,
Oh,
if you
no.
wanted to go spend the night somewhere, or you wanted to go do this or do that, it's not like you
Can't
have
do
to
that with
call
milk cow.
somebody and say, hey, you have to go feed my chicken, sheep, meat birds.
Pigs, milk a cow.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like you have bees and they feed themselves, they tend to themselves, sometimes they swarm, but for the most part, I mean, it's not like a daily management that you have to do with the bees. So I think that's my favorite part of having them.
Kim, that's awesome. Sometimes it's not about having the hive, but it's having them active in your gardens for sure. Being pollinators.
Pollinators is where it's at.
Our blueberries are rocking right now. Actually, we were in the orchard a while ago, coming through, or I was, and you could just see bees just all over our stuff.
You caught a what kind of fish?
Fish.
Yeah, you did catch a big fish.
We
in the pond with the alligator, huh?
We finally got all our bees back here. That was a major issue for us. We tried to run an apiary from our other bee farm. If you
from Colby's dad's farm.
Yeah, so and that's where we have a lot of our bigger cows, but it was just too hard to keep an eye on them like I needed to. Single Dad, thanks for coming on, man.
Aiden is rocking with the sleeping baby because he didn't get a nap today.
He's really
But
tired.
we will tell him. You said, hey.
Thanks for coming on, Chris.
Yes, thank you so much.
But yeah. So for instance, I saw a Mason bee, a bee hotel basically at Polyface when we went up there. He had a Mason bee hotel. I think they're cool looking. I don't know if I've ever got into raising Mason bees. There was a guy on here the other day that actually raised Mason bees, and he had a lot of hotels, and the whole purpose was for pollination. But
You're the bomb, Anna.
I just hadn't really got into them.
Bub's got this one at Home Depot.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is pretty cool.
What's so funny is I love doing bees, but we don't do a lot of footage on bees because they tend to not do good on our channel.
Here it doesn't. If I say here, our channel, it's more appropriate.
They don't, North Star Prep Steader. They are just basically just there to house bees to give them a place to come and go, especially when they're going as pollinators
Moon Farm.
in your garden. A lot of people put them in their gardens on the edge of their fences.
Mason bee houses are easy to make yourself. There's loads of tutorials online. Just need a log and a drill bit.
I've seen people do bird houses and taking pieces of bamboo and kind of drill through and just screw them to the little birdhouse, and that's what we've seen a lot of.
Supper is ready, but the cuteness factor with all those girls is awesome.
You think I'm cute?
Good night. Thank you.
you.
Hey, no, they said the
girls.
Okay. Thank you so much for jumping on. We know how it is. We swallowed our supper whole, but we always get excited to be able to come on here and talk to you guys. So we make it happen.
Oh.
I forgot to say hello first. That's okay. We're just glad you're here. For pollinators only, really. Okay, she was commenting something
on the Mason bees. I had a friend the other day. Kombucha. If you're not used to kombucha, and especially if it's an aged kombucha, it has a smell of sometimes could cross for a wine or alcohol, especially because we mix grape juice with ours or apple juice. And some of my working guys, some of them got into it. Some of them think it's the grossest thing they ever put in their mouth. But it's kind of funny that she said that.
Thank you, Levi. Yeah, kombucha, and if you're not familiar with kombucha, it is a very gut healthy drink, and it's really, really good for your gut, your system, your immunity, and to where you're probably only supposed to have a cup of it or so a
Oh my
day.
gosh.
My girls will go and get the whole, I have like old apple juice jar bottles, and my girls will carry the bottles around and drink on it all day. What does
Truly.
it taste like?
We could eat like a punch. Think of it like a ginger ale punch with a flavor
A
in it.
ginger ale, like
Don't compare it to tea. Compare it to more like a
yeah, it is fermented tea, but it tastes more like not even like Sprite, but it does
It
have that
reminds you of
kind of
carbonated.
carbonation.
To me, it reminds me of carbonated like punch. Like if you're going to a wedding and you drink punch, it almost has that kind of flair to it.
I would say, not that I'm really a picky person, but
You're pretty picky.
taste and texture, like
big
especially
deal.
texture, is a really big thing for me. But when my kids walk around, like even the baby, he will sometimes just stand there and just beg for me to cut more. I mean, he loves it, and he's 2, but we don't give him a whole lot because sometimes it will fly through him. If y'all know what I'm talking about.
Moon Farm, it is safe to drink while you're pregnant. Well, let me go back. We would allow that to happen. I wouldn't say you need to go drink 5 gallons.
I would talk to your
We're not
doctor about
doctors.
it because, and this is why, it does have a very, 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 very small alcohol content. Because it is fermented, it does ferment, but you could drink, okay, it would be like taking one sip of, like tiny sip of beer wine of alcohol content for the big thing. Yeah, I mean, it's like very, 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 very minuscule.
Yeah.
But just because you're pregnant, I would just check with my doctor. Even though the content is very, very, very low, like you could drink the whole thing and you're not even going to get a buzz. To where I don't drink, and I could probably drink one beer and be like all out of it. To where you drink the whole thing of kombucha and you're not even going to get even a little bit of that. So very, very minuscule. Is that a word? Is minuscule a word?
That's actually a word, not unlike sickly and some of the other ones you said. So, yeah, Moon Farm, ask your midwife. That'd be a better one, better thought.
Yeah, but it is extremely gut healthy.
Kim Winkler, the thing about the sugar content, if you
smells
choose
like
to not,
vinegar.
we actually don't flavor ours a lot. I actually like the flavors of the organic juices. Now, lately we've not put anything in there. So if you
Sometimes
cut
we
your
don't.
sugar content out, now you might not have the carbonation. Like our kids don't like the carbonated kombucha. So for us, guys,
I know that
for
she's gonna have
us,
them drunk.
you don't have to have the high sugar content if you're not trying to get that carbonated.
Well,
kombucha.
and remember this. Hold on. Miss Kathy from North Star said it has pretty much knocked her arthritis out since she has started drinking it. And that is amazing. And I feel like a lot of arthritis is caused from inflammation issues. And once you get your gut under control, even if it's stemming from your gut, it helps everything. Oh, but I was going to tell y'all, don't put that on my head, baby. What I was going to tell y'all is when you make sweet tea and you're putting it with the SCOBY. So SCOBY is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. That's what it is. It eats the sugar. That's why your SCOBY grows into a SCOBY hotel. It eats the sugar in the sweet tea and transforms the sweet tea into what's called fermented tea or kombucha. And even if you decide to reflavor it on your second fermentation with apple juice or grape juice or whatever, the same thing is going to happen. So if you have a small sugar content in your fruit juices or your fruit or whatever, like your real fruit, because we've cut up pineapples and blueberries and all kinds of stuff and dropped it down in there, the same thing is going to happen. So you're putting particles from your SCOBY that you've poured over into your bottle, and when you put the fruit or the fruit juices or whatever you're going to flavor it with over into your second ferment, it does the same thing. You can actually, if you leave it out long enough, you will get a mini SCOBY in your bottle. So the bacteria and the yeast that are in that bottle is doing the same thing. It's eating the sugar. So the whole kombucha in itself is already going to be a very, very low sugar content. Does that make sense to y'all? Did I explain that right? Am I getting too scientific? I'm a science nerd. I'm sorry.
Yeah, basically,
Mama,
it's
I'll
a
give you
form.
some of ours.
Kim, it's a form of just like yogurt, how you ferment it, just like you do sourdough.
Yep.
All those are fermentations that are gonna do the same thing.
Yep, it sure is. It's funny that you said that because the SCOBY looks like a jellyfish, but Colby has heard me explain it before to people to say it's like drinking yogurt in a different form, if that makes any sense. So you're ingesting bacteria and yeast, but it's all healthy bacteria and yeast. I've had horrible reflux since my gallbladder removal. Wonder if it would help with that. I'm not sure.
There's a video on YouTube that a doctor did that his brother is a kombucha brewer, and it talked about how, for people that has like major GI issues, to not drink as much, or you need to get your body used to it.
Drinking a very small amount at a time.
And let your body get used to that before you just start guzzling
Especially if you're not used to raw fruits and vegetables, raw dairies, unpasteurized eggs. Now we are, so our microbes are already built up. That's why my girls can walk around with the whole jug and it doesn't really bother them. But for somebody that's used to clean, pasteurized, everything's baked, boiled, and cooked, somebody who starts ingesting that, it might put you on the toilet for a day. So I would start off with a very small amount.
So Kim, I like the whey personally in the yogurt. I really like the whey. That's probably my favorite part of the yogurt is when it starts making that little jelly stuff on top.
Yeah, just think of it like probiotics. Daniel Rizzo, which he's not on here tonight, he was on there last week, but he has been doing SCOBY shots where he actually, because every time your jellyfish or your SCOBY is fed, it forms another layer. So you eventually get like these layer of jelly. It looks like a stack of pancakes. Well, the bigger it gets, you kind of want to take some of that off. I mean, you don't have to, but after probably 3 or 4 layers, you can take it off. You can feed it the chickens. Some people cut it up and eat it. He did that. I don't think I could do that.
Me neither.
Only kombucha I've had was root beer flavored from Walmart. Ugh. No, dude.
Try if you're gonna try something from Walmart, try the Kavita brand and get the peach pineapple.
It's really good.
That's the one Misty kind of got her teeth in on it.
Mm-hmm.
I drank it for a while, and Misty always wondered. She really did care, to be honest with you, but she finally got to the point where she started drinking because she realized the benefits of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the one she kind of sunk her teeth in on. But it's the peach pineapple Kavita version. It's really good.
And if y'all know me, I'm all about
a loogie. It is lazy. See, I'm not joking. It looks like one big spit wad.
Yeah, well, I mean, but look, I'm serious for the benefits that you get, and if anybody in here knows me.
Kim Winkler, Misty has a video on how to make a SCOBY.
Yes, it's really easy. You need to find a Whole Foods and go in and because it's really this easy. Go in Whole Foods, find you a bottle of unflavored original kombucha. Then you're gonna make tea. You're gonna get you a glass jar. It needs to be room temperature because if it's too hot, obviously you're gonna kill the bacteria that's in the jar. It needs to be back down room temperature. Pour your bottle in there. Cover it up with a piece of cheesecloth and put a rubber band around it because fruit flies will try to get into it. Put it in a cabinet. Close it up. 4 to 6 weeks. You're going to have a SCOBY.
Weeks.
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks. Remember when I first made mine, it took that long. So then you're going to pull that tea off. You're going to make more tea. Let it cool off and refeed it again. And then when you pull the tea off of it, you drink it. I found that about 5 days, once your SCOBY is established, I make my sweet tea, I feed it, it sits in there for 5 days, and then we drink it, and then you refeed it. It's kind of like sourdough. When you pull off of it, you have to refeed it. You pull off of it, and you use what you pull, and then you refeed it. It's like the same principle.
Kim Winkler, if you're talking about what we use for sugar in our natural life, it's honey. But what we use for sugar in the kombucha is we use organic raw sugar, brown organic sugar in the
Yes.
kombucha.
Yes, that is key. Don't use white sugar. Use the organic, natural, raw.
And Cecilia, you're right.
sugars.
We use raw sugar and then we use black tea, but we also mix
I
green
use
tea.
green tea too. I do half and half.
It's got benefits to the black.
Break a leg
pico
and dig it. I have a video on how to start
Yeah.
it, how to feed it, how to flavor it.
Homestead engravement, absolutely. Bacon, honey is is our go-to for anything we bake or make.
Pancakes, biscuits. I've
Anything.
replaced waffles. I've replaced sugar in all sourdough bread.
From the peanut snacks we eat, from just
Like
about anything and
snacks.
everything, unless we're going to splurge for some weird reason. Very, very seldom do we ever use
I
sugar.
mean, like if I make homemade ice cream, I don't put honey in it. I
Right.
use sugar in the raw. But we have not a tremendous amount of sugar for say. Let's use this week.
She's out.
Yeah, like pound cake and stuff like that. I use sugar in.
But when we say that we might not eat a pound cake for 15, 20, 30 days.
If that,
If that.
it may be once a month.
We don't ever. It would take us as a family to take a bag of sugar and eat it.
Probably a month.
Oh my God, no! It'd take longer than that. We don't hardly use. And if we took the kombucha out, if we said no kombucha,
It would
we
take
would
longer
actually,
than
yeah,
that.
we wouldn't.
But I
use hardly
use the
any
sugar in the kombucha,
Yeah,
and
that's what
that's
those
probably the major thing. Let's see.
That's great, Kim Wiggler. We are too.
But I have kombucha videos, y'all. They're really, really easy to do. I mean, paying what I can pay for gallons and gallons of kombucha, you can't buy a bottle at the store. I mean, they're like $6 or $7 a bottle, are they not?
They're $3 to $4.
The big ones. The big ones.
The big ones, yeah, about
They're-
6 or 7.
And then we would have to have a big one for our whole family.
Cecilia, we have given scobies to our chickens, especially once we got worried. One of our kids, or Misty, got strep.
I did it.
Yeah. And so we were scared. We tainted the SCOBY. So instead of wasting it, we gave it to our chickens.
Yep.
It's very good for them too. It's like a probiotic, just like apple cider vinegar. That
See,
we
what
gave
had
to them.
happened was I never do this. I never do it. But I sipped my tea to make sure I had it sweet enough to put, because I don't measure, to put in with my SCOBY. And like 2 days later, I found out I had strep throat. So I didn't want to chance that. From everything that I read, somebody commented on here earlier and said, I think it was Kim, that said it smells like vinegar. One of the things about kombucha is the acidity is like nuts. So I read that strep, that type of like strep, cannot live in the acidity of the kombucha. But I did not want to chance it because my whole family had already had it and we were having to treat the strep. And I did not want to reinfect us. So I just chunked it all. I boiled the whole entire glass jar and every attachment to it. Because I did, in my thinking is if I put the bacteria in there, I just did not want the bad bacteria to grow because I know good bacteria grows. So I just didn't want to do that.
Kim, you don't have to flavor it with anything. You could go straight with the herbal teas, like the green tea. I like the green tea blend more than I probably like the black tea blend because I like green tea anyway. But you actually don't have to put any kind of flavoring in it. Actually, our girls like it better without flavoring. So you could use simply your herbal tea, or basically our younger little girls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's asleep, Mama. We wore her out. So my mom come over today and we dug up a lot of potatoes. And then we went behind all the beds and raked them down, fertilized them, and planted a ton of tomatoes behind them. And she is just so tired.
Fancy Farmer, thank you. I think HOA will probably go on this year because a lot of the leadership has really pushed the fact that, they think that sometimes politics could play into things, and I think that they're shooting to go for this year. I know a lot of people's canceled. I know that Mike Pratt just canceled the Hootenanny. I hope they keep it going. I hope we get to go this year. For us, it depends on our milking situation, so we'll see. If so, yes, we'd love to meet you. I think that's awesome. Bake a leg and let's dig it. The sheep are doing great as of today, and yesterday they've done excellent.
I have to say, I was really, really worried about them, but they have pulled through and they are doing really. I mean, to me, yesterday when we moved them over to the
to me, they remind me back to how they. I mean, back to
they're
their
really
old self.
getting back to their normal self. Now,
Which are two big ones never. I mean, they were good the whole time, but it was just the two little ones.
Do it, Kim. Make your own. Watch my videos. It's really easy to do. It is very important that you find the original kombucha.
You're not gonna
I
find it on
found.
Amazon. It costs way too much. You're not gonna find it in Walmart.
Even before all of this
The only
Punani chaos stuff.
the only place we found it was
Whole
Whole
Foods,
Foods only.
and it was an hour away from us. But we were in the
We
area.
found GT Dave's brand. I don't know if that helps you. That's about the only one that makes original kombucha.
12
raw.
pounds of bacon. Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
Oh gosh, we gotta hurry. It's an
Less
hour and
restriction.
5 minutes.
Oh goodness. Hours flew by.
Hey, anytime y'all want to come visit us, we're always open.
Yes, absolutely. Hope to travel and meet YouTubers along the way. We don't have anything planned yet. Hey, that's awesome. That's really, I think the thing that holds us down is it would be pretty easy to get somebody to come and feed and water. But milking is like a whole nother level.
Well, let me go back.
I mean, it's really not, but to other people in our area, it really is.
But you got to remember too, we move every animal every day or every other day. So that's a major task. We would actually have to hire a farm sitter. I've looked into it, and to be honest with you, I think I'd have to hire a farm sitter to really work our farm.
Because one day we might be moving sheep, the next day we might be moving pigs,
and our cows
the next day we might be moving cows.
Our cows literally move 3 times a day. I know that sounds crazy, but our mamas literally cross our fields 3 times a day.
What brand was that?
GT Dave's. It says GT's, and then look under it says Dave, but that's the only one that I actually found.
It's like a silver and blue bottle. It's clear, but the label is like silver and blue and white.
That's right. And it's you got to have original. I say that. I'm not saying you can't use anything else. We've always heard you had to have original.
Is family close? Yes. Very close. But
nobody,
like I said, the milking is
I don't know nobody embraces our lifestyle. That's our family.
Not a whole lot of people. Yeah, I would say embrace. But it's really the milking. I think we could get almost anybody to come feed and water. And really, we're never really going longer
moving
than
pigs is pretty
we're never really going longer than like 5 days.
Yeah.
So I think to make it easier on people, we could keep everything put for that time. It's the milking. The milking is the big thing because you have to know how to work the machine. You have to get,
or hand milk. I mean, whatever floats your boat.
It's getting the cows in the stanchion and feeling comfortable with them because cows are big and they can be intimidating to a lot of people. So it's getting them in the stanchion, getting everything out there, knowing how to clean them, knowing how to hook them up, knowing when to take it off, knowing how to get the suction off, knowing how to get it all back to the garage and process. And that's a lot for people. I mean,
we've been on here a long time, so we're going to have to let y'all go. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it is a big job for somebody who doesn't know, and I think that's the problem. So 30 pounds of pork bellies in the freezer. That is awesome, Kim. We cannot wait to harvest ours. We're so close.
We have one pig that's probably about a month away.
He's a big old boy.
He is a big old boy.
And we can't wait.
But the other two is small.
Yeah, the other two are
they got to grow a little bit. Thank y'all so much for watching.
Thank y'all so very much.
We went all over the place tonight. So thank y'all. We always try to topic it, and then it never works. So thank y'all again for watching. Had a blast today. We worked as a family, got stuff done. It's always fun getting stuff done in summer and heat in our area. We just need a little rain, but not too much. So, but thank y'all for coming on. It's been a fun chat.
Yep. Happy homesteading, y'all.
God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.